Alright, hello and welcome. This is the Vintage Challenge on September 22nd. We're playing a green, red, white, blue paradoxical outcome deck. Basically using our splash to play Monastery Mentor because Monastery Mentor is the most powerful card. And then also playing a red splash with Dack and Grudge and Pyroblast, and a slight green for the flashback of Grudge and Library. Should play like all the rest of our PO decks, but maybe be able to grind a little bit better than some of the other ones. We'll see how those new flex cards go for this tournament. This is round one, playing against Plampkin, and let's begin. This hand's fine. It's got permission, it's got fast mana, and we got some cantrips, so I'll keep that one. I want to hold this Ponder, see if we can later get a fetch land to possibly use it a little more effectively. We'll start with Preordain. Preordain finds a Sylvan Library that we're currently not able to cast, and a Gush that won't be good until later. I'm going to bottom these. These don't seem like there's something we're going to be doing. Probe is nice. The plus side of playing a probe now is that if there's shops, we get to play our Mana Crypt out before they tax it. The downside is it's really a good card for us to have for Force of Will fodder. I think what I'm going to choose to do is go somewhere in between, where I'm just going to play my Ruby, hold my Crypt, and keep this Preordain as Force of Will fodder. He probes us. The most knowledge he's going to get is that we're probably on PO because we have a Mana Crypt, and that he has to go through some Force of Wills. Underground Sea. Preordain. So we're looking at either a PO deck or maybe a Grixis deck. Preordain puts 2 cards on top. That's a lot of cards. Lotus Petal. Alright, so maybe we're more of a Storm deck. So for us, we just kind of want to hit PO. Library is pretty good if we had more cards. We're a couple cards off the library right now. We have to do some serious work to get to what library. We're gonna take a probe, see if we can't figure out what's going on a little more. All right, so we're definitely a repeal in there and a Night's Whisper. It could be Storm PO. He has no permission, but he's got a pretty good grind plan and 2 cards on top of, or 1 more card on top of his library. We hit a Pyroblast, which is typically a nice one, but doesn't hit Night's Whisper, unfortunately. We're probably going to end up pitching these forces to each other, so we need to start looking for some action. That's a PO and an Opal. Yeah. That's what we like to see. So we know he has no permission left except for Brainstorm, and we can definitely beat a Brainstorm. So let's start going off. This is just going to be a PO for 2. Oh, not this turn. Next turn, I mean. I take PO now just because in case I don't want to pitch these forces. I don't think that'll be true, but we should actually be in a good place to get back on library, not back on library, but on library with a PO. We know he has an island, and this preordain I think is like a reasonable time to fire this off. So he can choose to lose one of his mana sources to cast Night's Whisper here. That seems like the play he's going to make. We're not going to counter that. Worst thing that happens is he does draw double force or something, but I don't think that deck plays it. We're still not 100% sure if which version he is, but it's likely he's a PO. But we have Paradoxical Outcome for 3 with force backup, so we look like we're in a pretty good spot. We hit a fetch land and this card, so we'll play a ruby and we'll draw a card. More forces, huh? So doesn't really hurt us to play these cards out. We have to figure out how much we want to put into a cruise. I think it's fine to play this land. You lose a little value because I don't really want to show him my different fetches. I'll just show him Tundra. That's pretty normal. Lose a little value not being able to draw into Valerian Academy, but this is a pretty good place to be in too. So we'll make 1 mana with our key, and we're gonna go off 1 more time. 2, 3, 4. Now we have Tinker. It's probably just lethal. Count though. Oh, we are 1 mana from lethal. We can actually use Hercule's Recall on ourselves, and that will give us. I shouldn't have played the key out, but that's fine. That generates the extra mana we need, and we tinker away the mana crypt so we can't die and get a time vault, and then we are infinite turns. Yes, if I was gonna, I didn't see the Hercules line before I played the key, but not bad. That's a solid turn 4, turn 3 win. So we only saw Lotus Petal. It's not 100% clear if our opponent is on a Dark Ritual style Storm deck or a Paradoxical Outcome style Storm deck, and there's nothing really in his vintage history, so I feel like both versions would play a Lotus Petal. We saw no other mana sources, so don't want this, don't really want to grind. I just kind of want Flusterstorms. I'd still like a fast Blightsteel kill. Not 100% sure on Ancient Grudge is correct. I definitely want Ancient Grudge if he is PO though, and I definitely want Pyroblast either way. Well, Pyroblast is a little less good against the Dark Ritual style decks of the black spells, but I want to cut 1 more magic card. Could just be a Mox Opal. I think that's fine. So we took out a heart. That could just be Merchant Scroll, actually. I kind of like Merchant. Actually, we don't need a Merchant Scroll for. Merchant Scroll for Flusterstorm is pretty good. So I think it'll be this. It's possible we want cages. If we bring cages in, I'd rather not have any of the anti-synergy. I think Tinker's still fine, but I think Grudge would go. I mean, we do Noe Storm. Just not exactly the most powerful card versus them. I'm not the biggest fan. Until we get a better idea, I think we're just gonna board like this, where we know we want Flusterstorm and we don't really care about a third Mox, Opal, or a Recall. So we're gonna try to do that. This is not the 100% board plan. I think we'll probably change it up based on what we see this game, if this is a game 3. This hand's pretty powerful. I'm pretty happy to keep this one. This can go pretty wrong if we play Soul Ring and die. But if we don't hit an off-colored Mox, it definitely seems like something we could do. Okay, this is a Mox Opal, so he is PO. It's a very strong starting hand. So I think we'll board in the other and brainstorm into fetch land. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to beat. We're definitely gonna board in the other Grudge next time. And I'll probably board out the Tinker combo. So we have Force of Will and a Flusterstorm, so we're just gonna pass with that. Next turn we can play our Soul Ring, and if he doesn't have a counter for it, we're in pretty good shape. Not the greatest place right now, because he does have an active top and way more mana than us, but this is not that bad a place to be in. Let's see if he goes land PO. Be a very value Flusterstorm. Ox PO, man, his hand's pretty sweet. Becomes PO. Yeah. This is a pretty easy Flusterstorm. He did not activate top. Either he does not know that he's supposed to activate top, or he strategically did it thinking that it would get countered. I think you're still supposed to activate top, even if you think it's going to get countered. The upside's a lot higher. You need to make sure you try to chain off. Alright, now it's our turn. He's got 2 cards left. We're in a pretty good spot. Get a Soul Ring. Get a Soul Ring. Get a Tolarian. I guess I don't like playing a Tolarian there. I think I should have played a Misty Rainforest so I could gush if I needed to. Now I'm in a little trouble where I'm pretty much forced to pitch one of my power cards, but So I'm gonna keep these both on top. This way I can pitch the current PO to force if I need to. And that way next turn I can play an island, make 2 mana, gush, see if we can draw some more Mox in, and then go for a Paradoxical outcome. Any more Mox in will be very good for us, so going for a second outcome. If he taps his thing this time. He does not tap it this time. I think it's better value for us to pitch. I guess I don't think our first PO is going to be good enough, but I think this gush is better. This could be wrong. I'd like to go back and try this one a couple different times. His last 2 cards were Force of Will, so he definitely should have activated his Divining Top. He only draws 4 instead of 5, but he's in a good spot. So we know the 3 Moxen in the top, and then he's got 4 unknowns in hand. We drew 1 less card than he was supposed to, and he's already cast 2 POs, so it's going to be a little tough for him to go off another PO here. But he can have Fluster now, which is like pretty rough for us. He's going to see Gush Rainforest, which is good. He doesn't see our PO. Maybe he'll tap out. 2 cards left. This is probably a cantrip. Nope, another spin. I don't think anything. He already spun, right? Oh, he spun. He's 1 deeper because he cast probe. So we have to be wary of Pyroblast. It's unlikely because he's playing probably the Esper PO deck. We're basically just looking at Flusterstorm or exactly Force Blue card. But we're not in too bad shape here. Kind of like where we're at. Volcanic Island. We'll float a red and a blue and return these to our hand. We're basically just trying to get another Mox in for our PO. It'll give us another mana. And let us cast it. Oh, he's going to catch his own Gushing. Interesting. And then force it will it. It's possible that we want this. I was thinking about maybe it's possible we want a PO in response. That might be the case. I think. Then we get. Cast Force Pitching Preordained. Still 3 cards in hand. Pretty bad for us here. I have to actually activate this Tolarian because I won't be able to replay my Soul Ring if I don't. Would be wrong to leave a red there. He's got Pyroblast too. Spinning for a Fluster. Nothing we can do about that. Didn't think he would have Force on his second PO too. His hand was a lot better than ours, unfortunately. That resolved though, which puts us okay spot. We need some more. Ooh, that's interesting because we do get to play out Mox here, so we will have Fluster. Yeah, that's fine. We'll Tinker for a Blightsteel, and we have Fluster right now. I like that. So we know he has 2 islands in hand, so it's really just 2 unknowns, which is not too bad for us. 2 unknowns. I really think we probably just lose this game if he gets his extra card draw PO. Maybe that's an overstatement. Alright, so he did not have a PO in his top 3. That's good for us. We know he has Island Unknown. We, on the other hand, have a Blightsteel coming. Which one do we want to sack? I guess we want to sack. Just want to sack Mox Opal, I think. If this does get countered, then Mox Opal is turned off. Anyways, the only thing we lose out on is being able to cast Mentor or a green card. It's probably fine. So this is pretty bad. We can could get a top here, but I would rather just make him have to keep make him have a Hercules Recall. So or kill us this turn. Spin top. Typically, I'm not the biggest fan of keeping Blightsteel in the PO mirror because I do kind of like to keep my Hercules in, like just 1 Hercules, but there's some merit to it. A little worse post board too when they have more counter spells. You don't get a lot of early Blightsteel wins. I don't know. Certainly seems pretty reasonable here because we needed to hit an action spell. We need to hit it quickly, or else we were gonna get buried over his top. And now we got it. So that's round 1. I like it. I think I would have boarded slightly differently had I realized he was a Theo deck, which I probably should have. I don't think that the regular Storm deck plays Night's Whisper, but I could be wrong. But the only real change is I would have boarded in an Ancient Grudge and maybe kept it in 1 recall. But overall, a good start. Our text. Quick 1-0 start. This is a 62 rounder, so a pretty big one. Or 62 player, not rounder. So it'll be 6 rounds. It'll be your normal. Let's see who